If you bought a condo in Ottawa in the last 2 or 3 years, there's a decent chance this video is going to be uncomfortable for you to watch because the March 2026 data just came in and I'm going to show you exactly what's been happening. Sales are at the lowest point that we've seen in the last 10 years in this section of the market. 139 total transactions in March. The 10-year average is about 250. Months of inventory is sitting around 5.5, which is basically a buyer's market. And the benchmark price has dropped as well, about 4.5% year over year. Now, while that price number might seem pretty mild, when you see the full picture, the sales volume, the months of inventory, the days on market, and just the general trend of this section of the market, you're going to understand why I titled this video the way that I did. Now, we're not seeing a total collapse in the market, but we're definitely in the midst of some sort of condo correction. And I think it's premature to suggest that that's going to end anytime soon because I don't see that in the numbers as we head into spring. But let's take a look at them and you can decide for yourself where you think the market is going. Now, we're going to start where we always do here with the 10-year sales. And we can see just from quickly glancing at the graph here, we are down year over year, pretty significantly just from 2025. And that's been a trend that's been going on since we peaked in 2021. That year where we had 422 condo sales in March feels very far away now. We had a bit of a reprieve 2023 to 24. We were pretty flat there, even up slightly. But other than that, we've been trending down for the number of condo sales since that 2021 peak. This one here just compares the last few years. So we can see that we're actually following the normal seasonal trend here, which is what we would expect to see. So you might see some people post like sales are up month over month for condos, kind of touting that as good news, but that's not exceptional. We expect March to be busier than February in all sections of the market, just like we expect April and May to be better than March. So this trend is going to continue, but you can see compared to even the last couple of years, which have not been fantastic for condo sales, we're low even compared to them. So I don't expect this to increase, but we'll see. If prices drop enough that people become interested in the condo market again, then we might see that change. But right now, it's only a select few units that are selling. You have to be priced really well and you have to be presented properly. Now, taking a quick look here at the number of new listings, we can see that the number of new listings has also gone up pretty sharply. Now, this is not exceptional. As we head into March, April, we would expect to see more and more listings hit the market in all sections, and we're definitely seeing that in 2025. What's concerning is even though there's more listings hitting the market, we are not seeing a corresponding amount of sales, and that's why the inventory is creeping up. Which brings us into our next slide, which is months of inventory. Now, if you've been watching for a while, you know that months of inventory is probably my favorite statistic to look at. It's because it gives you such a good idea of directionally where the market is going. Now, you can see things have gotten a little bit better since we peaked in December. December's a weird month, so this 8.27 months of inventory was wild when we saw it. But it came down pretty sharply since then, down to just over 5 months of inventory in February. But what I would have liked to see is for this number to go down further as we head into the traditionally busier month of March. But we did not see that. We saw more inventory hit the market, but we saw not as much more inventory selling. And the months of inventory has shifted even further from a kind of across the balanced market category towards a buyer's market. Now, we're not officially in a buyer's market until 6 months, but just directionally, the way things are moving and the way the condo market feels right now, I feel pretty comfortable when I'm talking to people calling it what feels like a buyer's market, even though we're not technically there yet by the numbers. The average days on market is also something to pay attention to. So again, we can see the days on market, just like the prices went up months over month, the days on market went down. And this might be touted as a good sign when you're looking at some videos, but it's important to keep it in context. And here for context, we have the orange line, which is 2025. And we can see that we started kind of behind the 8 ball in January with 71 average days on market. And while the days on market has crept down since then, we are not catching up to 2025. All the condos are still sitting on the market a little bit longer. Even the ones that are selling are on average are taking a little bit longer to sell than they were last year. And last year was not exactly a gangbuster years for condos. The month over month numbers you're going to be hearing right now are not super reliable. Like they're going to be touted as a positive sign, but February being better than March is not a positive sign. It's just that it's always that way. What's important to compare it to is previous years, and that's what we're doing here. And it tells pretty much the same story as we were seeing last month, that things are quieter than they were last year in the condo market. And lastly, we got to take a look at the prices. So we can see here, we are seeing that 4.4% decrease year over year. So not a huge price adjustment year over year. I would say the months of inventory, the days on market, and the sales volume is more the concerning trend. But the fact that prices are going down and we're still seeing that like decrease in sales is concerning. It tells me, the months of inventory more than anything else, tells me that prices need to go down further before we're going to start to see the market activity in this section of the market pick up. And again, going back to kind of where we were in the midst of the pandemic, the peak for prices was in, I think that's March 2022, 455 or 456 for the average condo. We have fallen a fair ways down to 384. And honestly, I do think there's a good chance we have a ways left to go before we start to see things really flatten out, unless there's some big changes in the world in the next little while. Now, this video was just for condos, but I'm going to be breaking down the other sections of the market, including the overall, the single family, and the townhouse sections in the next couple of weeks. So make sure you get subscribed if you're not already. As always, I appreciate you taking the time to watch. Have a fantastic rest of your day and take good care. Cheers.